everyone, winter is an excellent time to go outside and look for animal tracks. And when you're looking at animal tracks, there are 3 different kinds of clues you want to gather to figure out what animal left those tracks behind. Those 3 different kinds of clues are print, pattern, and place. So let's talk about print first. So when you come across an animal track or a print, you want to take notice of what it looks like. Does it have toes? How many toes do you notice? Are there claw marks? Does it have webbing between the toes? That would be a very cool kind of track to see. Does it have hooves? And also noting the size. Those are the kinds of clues you want to take into consideration when you first look at the print. The next kind of clue is the pattern. And when we talk about pattern, we're really talking about how that animal was moving. Animals move in many ways. They move in more than one kind of way. Just like humans, we can walk, skip, jump, gallop. But we're going to categorize into 4 areas today because this is a basic tracking video. And we're going to be looking at animals that are walkers, waddlers, hoppers, like on the top here, and bounders. And those different they're going to leave different patterns in the snow, and we'll talk about that when we go outside. I think it'll be easier to see. So we've got our print, our pattern, and that last clue to gather is the place. So you want to notice what habitat you're in. Are you in the forest? Are you by the river? Are you in your neighborhood? Those are all kinds of clues to tell you what animals might be there. Also notice where you are geographically. You know, we're here in Wisconsin in the forest. We're not going to see elephants and giraffes today. They don't live here naturally. So those are the 3 areas to consider: print, pattern, and place. So let's go outside and we'll take those clues and we'll put them to use. All right, so we're out here in the forest and we've come across some tracks. So we're going to use that print, pattern, and place to help us figure out what animal left these tracks. So when you look at the print, you probably notice right away that this animal does not have any toes. It has 2 hooves. And I pulled up my tracking guide here, and I've got 2 likely suspects of hooved animals that live here in Wisconsin. So 2 hooves, no toes, no claw marks, so that's the print. Let's take a look at the pattern. So again, that's the way the animal was moving. And this animal, if you kind of see the pattern, is called a straight walker. Their tracks are left almost in a straight line, like down here on the bottom of the sheet. And animals that walk are like humans. When we walk with our feet. Animals that are out here in the forest are walking on 4 legs, so they're going to move if they move their front right leg, they're going to move their left back leg at the same time, and then the opposite on the other side. And that kind of leaves this straight line, and we call this a straight walker. So that's a really good clue, what animal left this behind. And finally, we're here in Wisconsin in the forest. You probably know this track already, it's very common. But we have to look at all of our options, and this animal could be a moose or a white-tailed deer. Now this is the real size of those tracks, and you can see that this track is much smaller than a moose track, so it's definitely a white-tailed deer. All right, we're going to keep going to see if we find more.
These tracks are small, but we can see the animal was a bounder and left a 4-foot pattern with its tail dragging in the middle. The tracks lead from under a log. The animal visited different plants and then went into a hole in the ground. This is from a white-footed mouse. Here we see evidence of an animal that dug up a cone that it had buried. It ate the seeds from the pine cone and then hopped just in 2 hops from the hole over to a tree and climbed up the tree. This is from a squirrel.
Next time you see tracks outside, hopefully you notice the print, pattern, and place, and it helps you figure out what animal left those tracks behind. Thanks for joining me today.